It's been more than 2 months since a fire displaced more than 1,000 tenants at 650 Parliament, and now they're being asked to pay rent, even though they're not back in their units and won't be for months. That development sparked a small protest tonight outside the downtown rental offices. The group says the property manager's request is only adding insult to injury.
It feels like they don't have any concern for us. Why don't they try to put themselves in our situation? That way they feel what we are experiencing right now. We're suffering.
It's been a stressful 2 months for the nearly 1,500 residents who lost their homes to a fire back in August.
Some people have been receiving assistance from the office, but not everybody. It's been uneven across the board, and that's been a big concern for us.
While some tenants from 650 Parliament have been put up in hotels or apartments, others have had to find their own temporary shelter with family or friends, not knowing how long it might be before they can come back home.
Friends living, not living in the hotel, and they got to travel like an hour early before the school time.
So they're staying far away?
Yes.
And even for those who have been put up, they say it hasn't been easy living.
It's not our own home. We cannot do, we don't have any freedom. It's like we're living in a prison.
Who are we? What do we want? And when do we want it?
That's why many are upset they've been asked to pay their November rent in full. A small group organized by Acorn gathered in the rain, hoping to deliver a letter to management expressing their concern and listing their demands. The staff at the rental office locked the doors and wouldn't accept the document.
They want us to pay out of our pockets to pay for rent when we're not even living in the same circumstances as we were. The same accommodations. It's completely different.
In a letter to tenants, the property manager of Wellesley Parliament Square instructs only those who've been put up and aren't covered by renters insurance to pay this month's rent, explaining that the money would go toward covering the costs of hotel rooms. But these tenants say it doesn't take into account the financial burden associated with not being in their own homes for months.
I have no problem paying the rent if we get a chance to cook our own food. Buying food outside rather than cook is more expensive.
What Acorn was asking for is 50% off of rent, because people still have to pay additional living expenses on top of the rent. Some people are staying in unfurnished apartments without furniture, without the even means to make food. And it's an extra cost that a lot of people can't afford.
What's more, these tenants say they still don't know when they'll be able to go back and how much longer they'll have these accommodations for. They say it's time for management to offer a clear timeline so they can plan their lives.
I don't even know what happens after December 1st, so it's like a month-to-month basis right now when we're just playing the waiting game.
I feel sorry for my son, especially for my kids, because sometimes he told me that, Mommy, I miss our own home.
Now, some of those tenants have paid November rent, but others have not. One woman says the management office told her she would not be punished for failing to pay. As for when tenants could be allowed to return home, the original timeline of Thanksgiving was pushed to January, but management says it's possible that move-in date could be delayed again. Now, short-term accommodations are only in place until the end of January.